History usually remembers the powerful, the conquerors, the empires that survived. But sometimes, history pauses and asks a different question. What makes a man stand when survival demands surrender? In the year 480 BCE, the greatest empire the world had ever known sent a message to a small, divided land called Greece. The message was simple: submit and live, resist and be destroyed. Across the known world, cities had already accepted this reality. They bowed, they paid tribute, they survived. But at a narrow mountain pass called Thermopylae, something impossible happened. A few thousand men stood in the path of an army so vast it seemed endless. They were led by 300 Spartans. They did not misunderstand their fate. They did not believe victory was possible. They did not expect rescue. They knew exactly what awaited them. And still, they stayed. Because this was not a battle for land. It was a battle for identity, for freedom, for the right to live without kneeling. This is the story of why the war began, why surrender was refused, and why a defeat became one of the most powerful victories in human history.
The war between Persia and Greece did not begin with swords. It began with ideas. The Persian Empire believed in absolute authority. The king ruled by divine right. Law flowed downward. Obedience meant order. Resistance meant annihilation. This system worked. Persia became the largest empire the world had ever seen. Cultures were allowed to exist, religions were tolerated, but only if loyalty was absolute. Greece believed something dangerous, that citizens had the right to rule themselves. Greek city-states debated laws, they questioned leaders, they valued independence over safety. To the Persian mind, this was not courage, it was chaos. The conflict ignited in Asia Minor, where Greek cities lived under Persian rule. When these cities rebelled, Athens sent help. Persia crushed the revolt, but Athens had crossed a line. In 490 BCE, Persia invaded Greece and was defeated at Marathon. For Greece, Marathon was survival. For Persia, it was humiliation. When Xerxes inherited the throne, he inherited an unfinished punishment. Greece had challenged the natural order, and Xerxes intended to erase that challenge forever.
Xerxes did not see himself as merely a ruler. He saw himself as destiny. When a storm destroyed his bridge across the sea, Xerxes ordered the water to be whipped and chained. This was a man who believed even nature must obey. For years he prepared. Soldiers from across the empire gathered: Persians, Medes, Egyptians, Babylonians, Indians. This was not an invasion, it was a warning. Submit and live, resist and disappear. Greek cities faced a choice. Some surrendered immediately, others hesitated, but 2 cities understood the truth. Athens knew it would lose democracy. Sparta knew it would lose honor. And for Sparta, life without honor was not life at all.
Greece was not united. City-states argued. They distrusted each other. Some believed resistance was suicide. But geography offered one chance. Thermopylae, a narrow pass, mountains on one side, sea on the other, so tight that numbers meant nothing, so confined that discipline could defeat size. Thermopylae was not chosen to win the war. It was chosen to delay the enemy. Every day held here meant Athens could evacuate. Every hour meant the Greek fleet could prepare. Someone had to stand. Sparta accepted the burden.
Sparta was not raised on comfort. From childhood, Spartan boys were trained to endure pain, hunger, and fear. Weakness was removed. Discipline was absolute. Sparta did not fight for gold. Sparta fought for law. When the oracle declared that either Sparta would fall or a Spartan king must die, Leonidas did not hesitate. He chose 300 warriors. Each had living sons. Each ensured Sparta would endure. This was not an army. It was a sacrifice. Leonidas knew he was marching toward death, and he went anyway.
When the Persian army arrived, Xerxes laughed. He waited 4 days. The Greeks did not flee. On the 5th day, the attack began. Persian soldiers surged forward, and they died. The Spartans fought as one body, shields locked, spears precise. Men rotated seamlessly. Wave after wave collapsed. Even the elite immortals failed. Xerxes watched his army bleed. For the first time, the empire felt fear. Victory did not fail. Trust did. A Greek named Ephialtes revealed a hidden mountain path. Persian troops moved at night. By dawn, the Spartans were surrounded. Leonidas understood, and he made his final choice. Leonidas dismissed most allies. They had done their duty. The Spartans stayed. So did the Thespians. They charged into the open. Leonidas fell. They fought over his body. Spears shattered. Swords broke. Hands bled. When arrows darkened the sky, a Spartan said, "Then we shall fight in the shade." By sunset, they were gone. But Persia had lost something greater than soldiers. It had lost the illusion of invincibility. Thermopylae bought time. Athens evacuated. The fleet prepared. At Salamis, Persia was destroyed at sea. At Plataea, Persia was defeated on land. Xerxes fled. The empire survived, but its destiny changed forever. Thermopylae teaches us something uncomfortable. Freedom is never safe. It survives only because someone is willing to stand, when surrender is easier. The Spartans did not win, but they proved that power does not decide truth. Sometimes the greatest victory is refusing to kneel. That is why Thermopylae is remembered. Not for who survived, but who stood.